I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC, with TC.
All right, welcome. This is Financial Literacy with TC. I'm your boy TC. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me. So many podcasts out in the world you guys can choose to tune into, but you always choose to come back to mine, and I am so appreciative of that. Today, I am very excited because I have four phenomenal women joining me. We are getting ready for Make 2025, a year of home ownership event. We are super excited to bring that to you guys, and I just wanted to have my panelists and my co-workers and individuals who I'll be joining in with this event. It's taking place February 8th at the UPMC Health Plan Neighborhood Center, 6401 Penn Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15206. You can see our flyer here behind us. I want to make sure you guys are showing up and showing out. And we just wanted to have a conversation about what you can expect at this amazing event. So with that being said, I'm going to give each one of my panelists, my co-workers, my friends, an opportunity to explain who they are and what they're bringing to the workshop. And we're going to have some fun Q&A, and we're going to make sure you guys have a clear understanding what you can expect at this homeownership event. Please make sure you guys save the date, like, subscribe, and share to this episode so you can get more content similar to this as we get you ready for buying your first home in 2025. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my left. Jeani Bello is going to explain who she is and what she does.
Hi, thanks, Tyler. I really appreciate the introduction, and I'm so happy to be here and involved in this event this year to help with home ownership for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the state of Pennsylvania. Hi, I'm Jeani Bello, senior mortgage consultant here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, licensed for Pennsylvania as well as Florida. I am 20 years in the industry, born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and happy to assist with your new home mortgage. I assist with primary, secondary, and investment properties. We can do conventional, FHA, USDA, and VA loans. All these loans, and we can also do the first-time homebuyer for the state of Pennsylvania, which is PHFA. That is called Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. We can do first-time homebuyer for the state of Pennsylvania and couple that with all those loans, conventional, FHA, USDA, and VA loans. That also, we have assistance as far as down payment and closing costs that is available with that program. And you do have to meet different guidelines, but I'm happy to assist. I will review the credit, and I'm just so thankful to be here and let this 2025 be rent no more. And let's help you go ahead and own a home this year. And we're excited for myself and with our panel here of everyone to assist you through the process and make it a wonderful experience. So please stop over to see us today.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeani. We're going to turn it over.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tamara Davidson. I just go by Tammy. I am a real estate agent based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And to me, real estate is more of like a relationship. So I'm here to help with your first-time home buyers, investment properties, whatever you need, I'm your girl. To me, I want to be your home girl for life. So once you connect with me, we're more like family. So we'll work through all the process. I'll make it as smooth as possible for you. I'll do my best to anyway. Sometimes there's hiccups we just can't avoid, but if there's anything you need, just give me a call. I'm here to help whenever you need me.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Tammy.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Marché Hill. I have been a real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway for a little under 2 years. Actually, I just met my 2-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you. I specialize in first-time home buyers. I love being able to walk someone who is terrified of owning, because I was once you guys, into their home. I love seeing people's faces light up. If you ask my clients, I always say, I know this was your house because your face lit up. So I specialize in working with you hand and foot to get you the home that you love, to get you the deal that you love. And if we want to start this journey together, just give me a call.
Love it. And last but not least, Leah Massey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Massey. I am a real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway's HomeServices, located in the South area of Allegheny County. But just because I'm located in the South area of Allegheny County, I'm willing to travel all around Allegheny County and outside county. So If you're not in Allegheny County, still give me a call. We can look into it. Also, too, I got into the field. My background is casework. So I'm really about advocating for people and helping people. So picking an agent like myself would give you that opportunity to have a trusted agent who has a kind heart and who wants to see you fulfill those goals of homeownership. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.
Love it. And so, guys, how we're going to do this is we're just going to do an open panel Q&A because the goal is to really just give people a level of comfort to interact with us when it comes to February 8th. So we just want to hit on a few questions so that way we can allow people to understand who we are, get a little better insight. So that way it's a kind of an icebreaker for February 8th. So I'm going to ask the question and then everyone can answer, or whoever wants to give an answer, you're more than willing to do so. If you don't want to say anything, you don't. And then some of them might just be more, so it might be just a lending question, or it might be just a realtor question. So, and that's how we're going to do it. So hopefully you guys can, get to understand who we are and what we're bringing to the table, and then have some questions for us February 8th. So the first question to get us started will be, what inspired the creation of Make 2025 a Year of Homeownership workshop? Whose idea was it, and how did it come to fruition?
Well, again, we're starting a new year. So the idea was just having it where everyone has New Year's resolutions, and homeownership may be on that list of your New Year's resolutions. So, and sometimes there's different fears, there's different struggles, different questions that one may have about it. And like how Marché mentioned, her past experience, that's how she's able to help. Same with myself too, and I'm sure others on this panel. Where we have been in those shoes of not sure whether or not our credit would be good enough, or whether or not we had enough money, or we could get the kind of house we wanted. So with that title that we have today starting off this year's home buyers workshop, is to have it where making that resolution list actually a reality. Because a lot of times we do have those, especially with getting in shape or different things like that, and they just kind of fall off the wayside. And we're hoping that this year that home ownership dream doesn't fall by the wayside. So we have the support here through that workshop to help you get that goal accomplished.
Awesome. And actually, I was strategic about introducing myself last because I wanted Leah and Tammy I want to give them their props and thank them for inviting me to be a part, because this will be my second year in a row working with you guys. We did this workshop out in Clariton, if I'm not mistaken, last year around the same time. Actually, it was in January, but this one will be in February. And I was so honored to be, brought to, that community. And I wanted to thank you guys for including me in this one as well. So for those who don't know, I've occupied the space as a financial literacy educator. And basically what that means is there is a whole step and process that you have to go through before you are ready to be able to say, hey, I want to go to a lender, I want to go to a real estate agent. So I want to break that financial literacy barrier that you might have by letting you know, hey, these are the things that the lender needs to see and look at in order for you to get a pre-approval, pre-qualification, whatever that may be. Let's get you to a place where you're not taking yourself out of the game by thinking you have to have an 800 credit score in order to even go through the process, because that's not what lenders are looking for. So just little things like that is my job. I work with a ton of different organizations, UPMC. I've helped a lot of nonprofits bring in and drop that barrier and that discomfort that comes with never owning a home, and you just don't know what that process looks like. So when my background in banking afforded me the ability to understand exactly what needs to be presented to people in our community, so that way they can overcome those fears and challenges that they have in order to start dealing with individuals like you guys, so that they can get them over the goal and over the hump. So I'm excited to work with you guys, and I want to thank you guys for joining me. So I just wanted to get that out the way.
It looks like we're in the right order because you're connecting to her, and you're like the first step.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Very intentional. So that leads me into the next question. If any and everyone wants to explain this, what is the goal with this workshop, and what can our attendees expect to gain from this?
So for me, my intention is to have people come in a relaxed atmosphere, to feel comfortable, ask questions. No question is not a good question. So and just provide them with information that they need so that we can answer questions about credit. As you said, you don't need a perfect credit score to get a home loan. We can go over the different types of loans that are available to you. And we want to do it in an atmosphere where it's comfortable and like familiar to everyone, community environment, so everyone feels at home and like we're besties.
Yes.
Well, I will say for me, I came on because I don't like people fearing home ownership. So I wanted people to get over that barrier. We're not in an office. We're coming in a neutral place, like Tammy said. And I want people to understand that there are people who will be willing to help. And there are multiple steps to home ownership, which is not just a realtor one-stop off.
Yeah.
It's actually like Tyler's financial literacy. It's actually a loan officer who you need. You need every moving part to make a perfect train keep going. So most people don't know that. So that's why I came on, because I want everyone to know all the moving parts in a neutral place and actually be able to get over. I want people to leave the situation saying, oh, I can do this.
Right.
I was scared for nothing. Okay, let me give someone a call here and let's get the ball rolling. That's what I want. So
I love that. Yes. Leah?
Well, I agree with both. I mean, I think it's overall just, my thoughts is just educating. I think a lot of times we're not educating. That's where the fear comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a way to eliminate that fear. And like I said, I felt that fear with home ownership before I had purchased my home, and and I just think that education is key. And that's an area in real estate that I really gravitate towards, just having the client be educated. And therefore, when you're educated, you're more wiser, you make more, wise decisions.
Absolutely. And honestly, that kind of lends to my next question, which is, why is it so imperative that people start thinking about buying homes now? Because every year, we go through this cycle where, oh, the mortgage rates, or there's so many, or at least in my line of work, I run into people who say, oh, well, my friend's situation was this. They said don't buy a home because of this. They allow people to dictate their life based on their experience. And that can be harmful, as we know, because are they paying your bills? Are they taking care of your children?
Right.
So I kind of want to start with Jeani with this question. Just why do you think it's the best time for the individuals who attend our home workshop to buy a house this year?
Right. Well, I definitely believe that this year and every day is a good day to start with home ownership. We need to build equity for yourself and for your family, and for generations to come. And to do that, you need to own a home. And whether you want to buy a single family, a 2-unit or 4-unit, we're your team right here that can help put that together. Offering this free seminar has everybody able to come and learn and investigate, and for us to make goals and plans. And I have, I just love that. I totally believe in it, and I feel like everyone needs to start with that. And so I'm glad to be part of this.
Hey, I love that. Yes. Anyone else want to?
Me.
Okay.
I feel like home ownership is important because, let's be honest, rent is skyrocketing.
Yes.
Every day you're paying more than a mortgage may actually be.
Yeah.
So to be honest, if you're thinking of saving money, or if you want to save money, home ownership is the way to go. Yes, it's a big purchase in the beginning, but once you get into the swing of things and see that you're actually paying yourself and you're paying into your legacy, it makes everything worth it.
Yes.
I always tell my clients that you're paying someone's mortgage, either
Yes.
yours or your landlord. So
Yes.
you might as well build equity for yourself.
Yep.
Like you said.
And honestly, I'm gonna go off script here because I love when this conversation gets flowing. I want to make sure we can pivot. So on social media, now I don't know how active all you guys are on social, but there is this movement where they're trying to talk people into not purchasing homes. They're laying out whole videos of, I bought this house and everything's going wrong. And so I just wanted us, because that'll be something I address during my portion of the workshop. It's really not allowing one content or one media you absorb be the dictating factor on how you make decisions, because we're getting way away from journalistic integrity.
Right.
So everybody has a platform, everybody has content, and if you consume so much of that negative content, which we know happens, that's going to form your thought process and your mindset, and that's kind of what I'll be looking to speak to. So I just wanted to give you guys the opportunity, if you have noticed what I've noticed.
Yes, TikTok is not the end all be all.
Yes.
You cannot.
So yeah, anybody wanna
Well, and often what I find is I'm talking to buyers that they're renting and then they're actually fixing the home up that they're renting. They're
Oh, wow.
they're
Yeah.
painting, they're remodeling things, and they don't even own this home. So I really, we understand, that we want to get a first home often, and you got to get a first home to maybe move up to get a second home if you'd like to do that. But again, we want to build the equity, and if you are going to be fixing something up, we want it to be yours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think the fear might, I think there are situations where people, where maybe they felt they haven't made a wrong decision about purchasing and things like that. That's why, again, I think the education is so key.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you're not educated, purchasing is great, but if you're not educated about it and you make rash decisions, then you might make a wrong purchase. But that's why I really feel that attending these home buyer workshops and getting that education. And then also too, I think it's a heart issue. I think it's an individual thing. If you would have that urge or that pull to purchase and you know that that's the right move for you, getting that education to know the steps to take to get there is key.
Love that. So one of the things I wanted us to talk about as well, in all of our years of experience, and I think I'll kick it off unless we give you guys the chance to think about what you want to say. So the question would look as far as what are some fears that you run into amongst people you've worked with in the past? For example, worried about low credit score. How would our workshop address those concerns? Now, I would say for me is I've seen many people who have they're in range of what lenders look for an ideal credit score, but because they're not educated, to your point, they've been qualified for it, but they just don't know. So for me, it's really trying to debunk all those myths and things that they've gained from social media or their cousin or people that they've seen have horrific situations, and trying to let them know, like, hey, no, let's actually talk to a lender. This is how you get a relationship with a lender, because the more questions you ask them, the better prepared you are to understand what the requirement is that they want. Why are you dictating the terms when you're not the one in the driver's seat when it comes to making the decision? So talk to the decision makers, let them tell you if you don't qualify or not. And that's one of the things I've seen in my experience. A lot of people are trying to, and again, we do understand having the best credit score does save you money, but there are ways around that. There's always a refi. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can't let your credit score be the number one hindrance to you not pulling the trigger. So, and then if you want to share.
Absolutely. Personally, I do, work with people, like you said, or then refer them to credit counseling to help bring the score up.
Right.
So again, to just let that fear be gone, that, this be your year to be able to own a home and refi or to purchase, and especially with first time home buyer programs, the credit score doesn't have to be as high as you may have thought.
Right.
But again, we would be able to go over those and set goals for you. You don't have to buy that day, just like coming to the workshop. It's a free workshop to get educated so that we can help assist and teach you what to do and set some goals out for yourself so that we can get that home ownership, that the holidays next year are going to be in your own home and not somebody else's.
For sure.
And I think that's why too, we why with Tyler that we have invited you to these workshops, because our financial literacy. I think a lot of times people, and I've seen some of my customers, like they sell themselves short because they're in a hurry and they're not using patience, so they're just grabbing something that is they can get better than that. And so by taking the time and being patient to work through their credit or work through some of their financial stuff, then they can be approved for a better home.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that they're into that quick, or they're listening to other people. I just need to buy now. This is all I can afford. And then no. If you just be patient, work with someone, you can get a better home in a better neighborhood and in a better situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Tammy,
the fear.
You could speak to that, huh?
Okay with her. The fear I've ran into with my clients or past clients have been the financial aspect, not even the credit. Like the credit is okay, but they're terrified of the large sum needed for a down payment or for, just buying a home, period. Forehand money. There's multiple things you do have to pay for upfront to buy a home. Yeah. And most people don't know that. So I run into a lot of fear with that. But people don't understand also there's multiple loans, grants, a lot of things that can help you when buying a home.
Yes.
So just being, hey, I'm coming to the table with nothing. I came to the table with nothing and I got my house. So you have to understand there's so many aspects of buying a home that can help you instead of just saying, oh, I can't afford it.
Yes.
So that is my main fear. Like, you can afford it. Get out of your own head. I got you. We got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need to come to the homeownership. Like,
Right.
come on to the thing here.
And
Yes.
especially like with PHFA, with Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, we do have assistance for down payment or closing. You know, I'm personally, you know, I do a lot of those loans, so
Yeah.
people do call for me all the time. You know, I think I'm 7 for the state last year, so you know, it is a wonderful program. And you know, and sometimes you don't always have to be a first-time home buyer to receive that program, depending on the county you would purchase in. So again, I would be able to look at your purchase and that and help you, you know, work through those your questions.
I love that. And honestly, that leads me into, what do you guys feel are the biggest misconception when it comes to the home buying process or just financial literacy in general? And again, I'll kick the question off. For me, when you talked about the down payment, a lot of times, and I always use personal testimony because, again, I always tell people, if I give you my testimony, don't think it'll be the same for you.
Right.
This is what happened with me.
Right.
It can be, this process is so fluid. There's so many different factors.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use someone else's experience and say, oh, it's going to happen exactly like
Mm-hmm.
that for me. So when I do tell my personal testimony, I say, hey, this is what happened to me, but I can put you in the steps, but it does not mean it'll happen the same way.
Right.
So for me, when it came to the down payment system, I came with a check given to me by Catapult Greater Pittsburgh. I do have to shout them out.
Mm-hmm.
So my closing, I had the check. It was none of my money. So,
Wow.
and I did not have to pay that back. And I came to the closing, I think it was a little over $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they have a program where they're giving down payment, closing cost assistance, 0 payback. And came to my closing, me and my wife, we handed over the check and we went through the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. And then a lot of times I understand people don't understand, like, you might want to take the whole day off from work because you're signing a ton of papers.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen people think, oh, well, what time we gonna be there? You're buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, and a good real estate agent, like I know you guys are, they're gonna have a nice little gift for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be a celebration. You don't want to rush that.
Right.
And I feel like some of these home ownership programs that exist out here, they don't give a good layout of what this is going to look like. So therefore, these people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want us to speak about either misconception or just what you guys divulge to your clients, so that way they have a full understanding. Because I think a lot of times these home ownership programs, they have a sole plan that they do, and they leave out a lot of stuff.
Wow.
So if anybody wants to speak to that.
I will. I will say, most people think because you see $100,000 on this house and this is what they have on the market, this is what I have to pay. That is not what you have to pay.
Love
if
that,
you have
yes.
a good agent,
Yes.
they are going to, I don't say fight because we don't fight our agents. I will say they are going to bat for you
Yeah.
and getting you what you want to pay and what you need from the house. If they say, hey, this house offers a home warranty, you can actually maneuver to where your agent gets the warranty that you want to have. It's all on what you are the buyer, especially if you're the buyer. You have the upper hand because this is the most important purchase of your life. You don't have to go with the punches all the time. Your agent has your back, so just trust that.
For sure. I love that. Yes.
And also, I feel like people are, like, they want the home, but sometimes they're not quite sure, but there's always ways for you to get out the deal. Like, you know,
Yeah.
there's the contingencies that are inside the agreement that can help you. For instance, if anything could go wrong, you can just do the pest inspection and there's like little dead carcasses or something, like bug carcasses, like little things like that, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid, just do it in spite of, and there's always ways for you to back out.
Yeah,
sure.
you're not locked in.
And honestly, I love that you shared that, Tammy, because that was one of the instances with my house. I had, we wanted the seller to do a few little tweaks to, like, I think in the bathroom, there wasn't anything to let the moisture out.
Mm.
So that we say, hey, fix this, this, and this, and they did it.
Wow, that's
And
really
again, a good realtor
Right.
will be able to,
Right.
negotiate that and have, because it was either fix these things or lower this price, or,
Yeah.
so, but you have to be able to understand that can be included in the process. And the only way to do so is ask questions. And I feel like that's the biggest thing I think is the issue when we do these home buyer workshops. Not enough people are asking questions.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and like you said, there's no dumb question. The more questions you ask, the better your education level is. And for me, when I'm trying to bring something to the table, I'm trying to think of questions that I know people would be afraid to ask that I've seen. So that way, I'm like, if I'm doing all the talking, that means that means we're not getting anywhere, because this is for you, and you need to be really making sure you understand what's going on. So I love that. So when we're talking about the home buying process, what do you guys think is the most key step? Because granted, we all know there's a ton of steps, but if you had to pick one step, what would you think would be the most key?
Pre-approval.
Okay, I love it. And we did not script that. I love it. So yeah, if everybody wants to take, I know you guys have the same one, but y'all might say something different. So
Well, I think because with your pre-approval, you know what you can afford.
Gotcha.
So you're not looking at homes that are $500,000 when you're only
Right.
pre-approved for $200,000,
Right.
unless you have the money to cover in excess of the loan amount that
Gotcha.
you're pre-approved for, which typically isn't the case, but you never know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So you're not wanting and desiring something that's out of your
Right.
range.
For sure.
A pre-approval is more set in stone, especially when you're putting in an offer. Some homes don't even accept an offer without a pre-approval and proof that you can purchase that home. And if you don't have that and you're just going off of, I may or may not have money, and you go into a deal, the whole deal can fall through because you didn't do that one step that you could have done. So I definitely think the pre-approval is the most crucial point in buying a home.
Absolutely.
I think the pre-approval, but being, again, educated on that pre-approval, I mean, you got to be ready to buy.
Yeah.
I think because, they give a certain term for that pre-approval. And then also, so you can ask for being able to communicate this soft pull versus the hard pull. And then knowing and also having that idea that if you know definitely that you're really not ready, like you the credit score or you don't have the money or this and that, then maybe don't go and get that. Just go to like a financial person, like credit person, and see whether or not they can do a soft pull and see if you're ready. So, just being aware of what you're doing when you're getting that pre-approval on that credit, because some lenders won't talk to you about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I know Jeani will.
Jeani Bello will talk to you about all that happy stuff, when people call, like you said, to me, you can do the pre-qual, you can do the pre-approval. Normally we'll check the credit, or we first have just a dialogue of where we're at. Sometimes it's just a matter of some coaching or some talking about things just even to get ready, or sometimes we are ready. And then once looking at the credit, often I'll do some estimates when someone this is what we could afford, or, so that you're going to stay in your budget, as far as you like the payment, or maybe it's closer to what you're paying now. So even though you may be able to afford more, sometimes, you may want to be a little more conservative on what you're spending, because you may just want to buy this house and then maybe buy a little condo out in Seven Springs. So you might not want to put all that money into one home. You may be diversifying things later. So we want to kind of think about that, talk about it. And then same thing I'd be going over what we're going to be using as far as funds, whether you're having gift funds come in from family, your own funds, or again, for PHFA, we do have assistance for down payment or closing. And, I'm happy to explain and teach people with that. And like I said, you don't always have to be a first-time home buyer. We also do have a flex program for somebody that. So you could also, you could be a second-time buyer also. So there's programs available for that too. So, personally, I evaluate all of them and then, walk that through, whether you want to do a regular PHFA, whether you want to do a regular loan, and we would look at the differences and look at the estimates, so that you can make the best decision for you personally.
And I love that, Jeani, that you said that, because a lot of times people don't understand the different parts of the different individuals will have to deal with through the whole home buying process. So I want us to talk about collaboration when it comes to the lender, the real estate agent, the title company. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else involved, but so in your guys' experience, how pivotal is it that every I'll say for lack of a better word, component or person that is involved in dealing with the client, how big is that communication piece? Because I've seen stories where an individual is about to get ready to go to closing, and they went and 2 days later they applied for a student loan, and now that's messed the whole deal up. So just things like that where that person wasn't giving enough information to be like, hey, you don't do this, or the do's and don'ts between. And I know, and I'm not even saying that the agent didn't or anybody didn't tell that person that. They probably just did what they want. But I feel like the better the communication, and I tell people before I buy my house, I went through a 2-year education process. I was going to every workshop I heard of, and a lot of the information was consistent. And then I started building my relationships with my realtor, and then the lenders. And I happened to work for banks, so I kind of knew what the lending process looked like. And it was 2 years of making sure that I'm getting as much information as I can, so that way I'm not making mistakes. So if you guys wanted to talk about that in your experience.
Sure, I can speak to that. As far as a lender, often I am chosen because I am so available. People call me all the time, night, day, weekend, evening, they know my schedule. And, that's why they know that, they can reach me when they need to, and that I do care and I want to help them, and they can feel it, big or small, we like them all. So whatever, your home value that you would like to purchase, we're going to do our very best for you, myself, as well as the team here. So we just really want to encourage you to come out to the workshop so that you could learn more about it, and we can get you set for renting no more, and that 2025 holidays in your home. And we'll come if you want. We'll come.
As long as you got eggnog.
I think it's really important for all moving parts to be on the same page, especially because your realtor is usually your first thing of contact.
Right.
So you have to be able to trust. I always tell my clients, like, do you trust me? Do you know that I have your best interest at heart? If you don't, I understand. I will give you amazing referrals to other agents, because you do have to trust your agent and know that they got your back. And a lot of my clients, like, we end up being, our banter is like friends at this point, because it's like, I can say what I need to say to you. You won't get offended. I have your back. You have my back. I know, and then, also, if you come to me with a problem, I will always call the loan officer. I'll get everyone on board, emails, calls, 3 ways, whatever we need to do. The contact is always there. So that it's extremely important, because most clients get nervous talking to loan officers. I know I did. So I always try to get that out the way. Let's get joking. Let's get whatever we need to do to get this deal done and get you comfortable with the deal. So.
And communication is key. And also there's deadlines. So you have to have that relationship, because there's deadlines we have to meet. So sometimes people maybe have their guard up, or I don't want you to know too much of this or too much of that. But we have to have that open communication, because we're trying to get a deal done. And we don't want to have it where someone's out the loop, and then when it gets closer to closing, then we find out that, it's not ready to close. So that communication is key. And I think that's what Marché said, that trust. So if you trust your agent, and then I think everything will,
match together. Well. Yeah.
I agree, because you'll be all up in their business. Like, and I mean, everything's strictly confidential, but like, I'm going to know everything.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to trust me so that we can get to the nitty gritty of it all.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that you guys said 2 things that I love. One, when it comes to this lending process, the lender has to know everything about you anyway. And I teach this in my financial literacy workshops, that the same way you're getting vetted, social, middle name, like everything, your whole government, they want to know, you can, to a certain extent, learn as much as you can about the person vetting you. Obviously, you're not getting their social knowledge, but if I can't have your number in my phone, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And if you're not accessible late nights, because me and my wife, we had different working schedules when we were buying our home, and we had to really, hey, call her. We saw this house. We drove past earlier. It's 12 at night. Now she might not get back to me in the morning. She sleeps, but we understood. Or there was times when I text at midnight, she's still up. I know she has kids. She texted me, so that level of transparency and comfort is what you may want. Now, for some people who don't care about, stuff like that, then cool. But I know many in my community, they care about a level of transparency and comfort. And that's more important than anything else, because like you guys have honed on, it's about having that comfort and trust in your real estate agent. And then the fact that I've seen people when it comes to, they don't understand. I think Marché mentioned about how I talk to you. I want somebody who gives it to me straight. I'm not looking for people to beat around the bush, because then I don't know if you really have my best interests at heart. If you can't say, I don't think you should do this. Now, granted, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna grab a but I want someone to give it to me straight. And I've seen it both sides, where someone, made a decision without getting that realtor's real opinion and thought, and that was harmful to them in the end. So I say all that to say, when you're like, I've seen people use their cousins because they're a real estate agent. I'm like, you do realize that might not go well for you when cousin has their best interests at heart when it comes to the commission and all that other stuff. So it's really like, no, I don't do that because we're family. I want to go with them. I want to go with the person who can be trusted the most and be transparent and know, like, I'm not doing a good sound decision, or you don't think this is in my best interest when it comes to a lot of things, tell me. Yeah. And I don't care if it sounds nice or not. It's going to save me whatever I might run into. So if you guys have an experience like that, feel free to share. But that's my personal testimony.
Yeah. Honestly, I've had clients who are like, well, Marché, what would you do? And we just sit and we talk. And I will say this, it is part of our fiduciary duties for everything to be confidential. Right. Whatever you say to us will never be repeated. Right. So as long as you know that and we are standing by our fiduciary duties, you're good.
Yeah, so deal with cousin Pookie if you want.
If you want,
they get a couple drinks in them, and y'all can feel they might, that might come out. So just be careful is all I'm saying.
Honestly. And I run across some people too who kind of get a little iffy about with the finances too, like, oh, you're going to know my business. Yeah. But we don't know all the finances stuff, like with Jeani, whatever financial stuff, all that, we don't get into detail with all that. Just whether or not they got approved, or can they pay. So I think some people kind of are offish. I don't want you talking to the lender. I don't want you to, because they don't want you in their business in that way. But we don't get all that information. We don't want all that. We don't want to have all that information. Right. So.
Well, like my actual first transaction was my cousin.
But she's not cookies.
And not to say that there's no.
I'm saying that, like, it was actually my cousin, and I literally was all in his business. Yeah. Like, I was his secretary. And that's just like the agent I am. Like, I will, because some people like faxing, like just, getting different things, like, you know what I mean? Like, as you were saying with the trust and confidentiality, like, I will be that in between for you. You give me, like, sometimes because of their work schedules, they can't get this to them. Bring it to me. I'll scan it. I'll email it. I do all the in between. Like, you know what I mean? That's just the type of agent I am. Like, that's why I said sometimes I do like be all in your business, because I've faxed pay stubs, like literally everything that.
That's kudos to
Jeani
you.
and I, we worked on that one transaction, and it was just like, but. We get it done. Yeah. I mean, that's just what we do. Like, confidentially, we'll get it done, and it will stay within our circle of trust, so to speak. Like, so there's no.
No, and I love that, because I think what's lost in this process sometimes is setting a level of expectation. Mm-hmm. So if you're a realtor who sets that, I'm gonna go above and beyond for you, and you heed that, great. Yeah. But I'd much rather be upfront with my real estate agent about what I can expect from them. Like, some of them, they want you to have a little bit of accountability, so they'll make you do it. And so whatever that looks like, I don't really care. But it's letting me know up front.
Not even just like check-ins. I check in with my clients. What do you need from me? It's 2 weeks now. We're in this process, and what do you expect of me? Let me know. And then, like Leah said, we have deadlines. So if I'm getting on your, and I always say I'm getting on your nerves, that's okay. We have a deadline. So we're going to get this done. I'll talk to you at 9. You have a great day.
Well, I believe the same thing. Customer service is so important. Personally, when I purchase something, I enjoy customer service, and I enjoy, just like you say, being educated, someone helping you make a right decision on your own purchase. So when someone's coming to me for lending, I want to give them that same level of customer service, availability, transparency. And, to me, I'm always like looking how to do the loan the cheapest first. And then there's always other different ways to do them also. But, we want to start with, so that you understand the loans that are available for you. You know what I mean? You want to know what's available, and then you can make the decision of what would work best for yourself.
For sure. So as we get ready to wrap up, Because I always tell people, this is the biggest purchase you'll probably make in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, unless you swimming in buku dollars, you ain't really bad boats and planes.
Right.
A house is the largest purchase you'll make. So why not do your due diligence? If you're not going to do it, allow the professionals to do it for you. So with that being said, when it comes to this workshop, what is the most rewarding part of us hosting this homebuyer workshop? And it's a two-parter. And I don't know if everyone wants to take a turn, but what do we envision being the overall outcome once we have it? So again, to repeat the question, what is going to be the most rewarding aspect of hosting this workshop? And then two, what will be the overall envision or outcome that we can anticipate or we hope to get out of once we have the workshop?
You want to go first?
Sure. Okay. For me, the most rewarding will be continuing that financial literacy education. I'm not going to hold you. I definitely want more subscribers for the podcast because, again, I don't do this for me or for monetary gain. Or not primarily, I'll be honest. But the goal is I want to meet people where they're at. So I know people do YouTube. I know people are on Spotify. So I try to create content that's going to be accessible when and wherever they're at. So the workshop and this is all for additional information to provide to people. So that's why I was so excited to be able to have you guys, because I want all the education, all the secret sauce, all the things that don't get talked about in homeownership programs that I've been to. We can be able to debunk that and we can address it. A lot of times I've seen home buyer programs not talk about something because it hurts the bottom line of an industry. And I want to make sure we're different. So that's what I'm excited about, because I'm going to be saying things that I probably shouldn't be saying. But in my mind, I don't care, because when I was going through this process, I had inside information because I was working for financial institutions. I had inside information because I was close friends with my realtor. So I want people to understand that it can get that easy for you as long as you know the game, because it is a game. So, and then lastly, for me, a beautiful outcome once this thing is done is obviously continue collaboration with all you guys, but then also collaborations and networking in the room. For me, events like this, I'm comfortable with having. If we're gonna have 25 to 30 people, I want 25 to 30 people's contact information. And also, so more subscriptions, more collaborations, and pretty much knowing everybody in the room. So.
Well, I'm excited to be a part of our, to make homeownership for 2025. I really want to help impact the community. I want people that are actually renting, your parents that are maybe renting, your grandparents, anyone that is out there that feels like I'm renting and I'd like to own a home. We'd like you to come and, like we said, learn from us, let us educate you, teach you, get a game plan for you so that you can own a home this year. Please don't feel that it's out of your realm that you can't own a home. If you want to own a home, you need to come to the workshop. It's free. We'd love to get to meet you. I think we're going to have some light refreshments. And, we are just here to help you and for you to accomplish that dream of home ownership. And I feel that, we're here doing it together, and it's because we have a calling to get this done. So it's you that we want to help. So give us, come on out and meet with us. And we're excited to meet with you, your family. If you need to bring all your family, your friends, anybody you went to school with, all welcome. Come on out and see us.
And I'm not going to hold you. If you got kids, I'm familiar with the spot has a place for kids. So do not let your children be a reason why you're saying I can't come.
Oh, okay. You have child care, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if there'll be somebody there to watch the kids, but
I can watch the kids.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth with that, but I know I've been in there. There's a lovely play area.
Okay, lovely play. Well, great. I'm glad that you were able to share that, and that's all the more reason. Again, don't let any reason, be a reason not to come. If this is your year that you'd like to learn and know about owning a home, please come and join with us. We'd love to have you and meet with you and take you on that journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
For myself, I hope that we can help debunk all the myths you might have about homeownership, that we can answer your questions in layman's terms, so to speak, so like everyday language, so you're understanding all the terms that sometimes are like foreign to people not in the industry. I hope that after the program, someone wants to take the next step into purchasing their home, whether or not you use any of us, I just hope that you have enough knowledge to go on and make that decision, because it creates legacy for you, your children, families to come. And real estate is really how you can like build yourself up financially. But yeah, so like, please, like everyone said, come out, join us. We'll have like refreshments. We'll all be there, and it'll be fun.
It will be fun. The most rewarding thing I will get out of this situation is seeing people who were just dipping their toe finally swimming. I want, or we're going to be your life vest. So come on and swim with us. The most, what I will say, the outcome that I want from this is for people to actually, I'm going to look at everyone who comes, and I'm going to make goals for them, and I want you guys to buy this year. It's time to buy. So if we can get the people who attend to actually get those pre-approvals, get that financial literacy, and get those homes, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper.
Yes.
I think just changing the mindset of homeownership by having all these, all of us here on this panel that have a love for what they do and that are trustworthy people and who really give it their all. So just having taken away a different look at how a lender should be, whether you, like Tammy said, whether you go with any of us, having at least educated on how a lender should be, how a financial advisor should be, how a real estate agent should be. So you don't fall into that trap of, unfortunately, getting just, they're trying to just make a commission or try to make the sale. So just having an understanding of that prior to, whenever you do choose somebody. Of course, hopefully you choose one of us, or hopefully you work with us. But again, sending you off with that different mindset. So you're just not choosing someone that might have the name or this or that, but really making sure it's a great fit and then understanding what they do and what they should be looking out for you. And also knowing a little bit about that contract too. Just being educated in that way too, so you don't get used and abused.
And I love that. And I'll be honest with y'all, they have to kind of play PC. I don't. I'm going to tell y'all, go with them. Obviously, if you haven't seen what you need to know by this episode, you will see them be their authentic selves in person on February 8th. And I'm going to toot their horn and sing their praises and give them their flowers because what you don't see is the work they put in behind the scenes. So I'm going to make sure
I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, Oh, I'm on a pod with TC,